Hello, dear students. How are you? I hope you are well. I am also well. This is Sanjay Pal, lecturer, Department of English, Government Rajendra College, Faridpur. Today, I am going to take a session about Robert Frost. The road not taken. In my last session, I tried to discuss about Robert Frost and the background of the poem The Road Not Taken. In my last class, I discussed about Robert Frost biography and his major works, his life and works of Robert Frost, legacy, and there are two most important question or important thing about Robert Frost and background of the poem The Road Not Taken, setting of the poem, the plot of the poem, major theme of the poem, mood or tone, symbol, and rhyme scheme of the poem, point of view of the poem, form of the poem, or structure and imagery of the poem, and narrative style of the poem. These all items are discussed in my last class. Now today I am going to discuss about this poem, something about that is overstatement. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. These 5 lines, you see that the second line is difference from other 4 lines. So this is an example of overstatement. Is the line I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Literally, the narrator does not mean that after ages and ages he will tell his story. He means that sometime in the future, maybe after some years, he will tell of the two roads in the woods. So you see that these lines are an example of overstatement. So I think you realize this. What is overstatement? Okay, then paradox. The paradox of the road not taken is that the choice has to be made between two roads that are equally fair. He cannot travel both. He cannot travel both. It is not possible to travel both roads in on time. Even though he wants to, the solution is simple. He just needs to choose a road. However, the situation is paradoxically because he decided to take the road less traveled by, even though they are both equally fair. So, why we can realize why this poem is paradoxical, because the poet wants to travel both roads in a time, but it is not possible, and this solution is simple, but poet does not solve this problem in a simple way. In this reason, the situation become paradoxical. So this poem is paradoxical or paradox. Irony. The irony of the poem is in the idea that the roads have a multiple significance. The roads have some multiple significance. Not only are they simply roads, they are not only simply roads to travel on though the forest, but they also take on a secondary meaning. It has a secondary meaning of a choice in life. You can there is a symbolical meaning we find in our last session. This is a symbolical meaning, and here we find this: the road is has a secondary meaning. This is choice of life. The person can either choose to take the road that most people take. Generally, we choose a road which many people choose, and we also choose this road. But in this poem, we find the different thing. The poet, he can take the one that is less traveled. The poet chooses one road which is less traveled. The narrator choices to travel down the road less traveled by is also ironic. Why it is ironical? Because the poet chooses this road which is less traveled, so it is ironic. Even though both paths are fair and about equally over, the two roads are same, but the poet chooses one road which is less traveled. He still chooses the one that is less traveled. He could have decided to take the road that would be easier to walk along, but he did not. Generally, we choose these types of road which is easier, which which way we can travel very simple way, but our poet is different to choose his road. He choose which road. This road is not common for man, and this is less travel, but poet chooses this road, which road is less traveled. So this is irony. And now we going to discuss the poem line by line. So dear student, try to realize the poem and try to understand the poem line by line. Okay. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. So we realize that there is there are two roads. There are two ways. The speaker starts by the straight way, describing a fork in the road. This poem was written in 1916. This poem is written in 1916, when cars had not become the primary mode of the transport. Thus, the road mentioned above was probably more of the path. So we find out that this poem was written in 1916, and in this time there is no car, so people walk or went his destination by on foot. Thus, the road mentioned above was probably more of a path. Don't imagine it to be in any way close to the roads of today. The poet describes the woods as yellow. As the autumn season set in, are the leaves changing color? By diverged, the poet means split. There's a fork in the road. So I hope you realize why the poet used yellow wood and diverged. Okay. The third and fourth line, second and third line, and sorry, I could not travel both. And sorry, I could not travel both. And beyond travel long I stood. And sorry, the poet says, and sorry, I could not travel both. And beyond traveler long I stood. So poet realizes that he could not travel both road in on time. So he takes decision. Okay. In this in the description we read out, it seems that the speaker wants travel on both roads at once. It is not possible. But since this is impossible, so the poet says, and sorry, I could not travel both. It seems that the speaker wants travel. The speaker wants travel both roads at once time. But since this is impossible to walk down two roads at once. It is not possible. He has no choice but to choose one of them. He has no choice but to choose one of them. The speaker, he is sorry that he cannot travel down both the roads. This suggests regret. Imagine that the speaker is standing at the park trying to choose which path to take. Because he is standing, we can say that he is traveling by foot. So we realize that the speaker wants to travel both, but it is impossible because a person does not travel two way or two roads at once or in a time. So he should choose a road, and this is simple. And in this reason, the speaker says, "So I am sorry because I do not travel both at once." So he was sorry. Okay. And look down at once. And look down on as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. So please try to realize and look down on and look down on as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. So the speaker now peers down on road, trying to see where it goes. He wants to choose a road, but he wants to see, he wants to observe which road is simple, which road is hard to travel. He wants to observe. The speaker now peers down on road, trying to see where it goes. On road where he wants to observe where it goes. However, he can only see up to where the road takes a bend, and he tried to realize. However, he can only see up to where the road takes a bend. Where the road takes a bend. Firstly, he tried to see where it goes, and then he wants to see where the road takes a bend. Around the bend, the undergrowth, small plants and grass block his view. Here it is Odi asking a question. Is the speaker at a park on a road, or this just represent a park in the road of his life? This is not only a road, this is his life. This is a symbolical meaning. He is trying to see into his future as far as he can, and it is his future as far as he can. But he cannot really predict the future. He cannot really predict the future. He has no prediction about the future. S can only see part of the path. Probably he is trying to ascertain what surprise it could hold. So we realize that the speaker or our poet does not want any prediction, but he wants to travel uh, this road, which is also a surprising, or probably he is trying to ascertain what surprises it could hold. So he wants this road, which is uh, not common, which has some surprising moment, which has some exceptional, or in this region he wants these types of road which is less travel. So the speaker, we find out two very important things in this two line, trying to see where it goes, the road, where the road goes, and second, the road takes a bend. And this is also important, the road is not only road, this is life, this is also his future plan, this is also a prediction in his life. So dear student, now I want to finish this session in this slide, and in my last class, in my next class, I want to start from this slide, but I hope you try to realize this poem, and you also note down all the point, uh, such as irony, paradox, and overstatement, narrative, and point of imagery, form, point of view, all these items you should note down, and you should realize all these item and try to find out in this poem where is the paradox used, or irony is used, why this is irony. Try to find out all the point, and if you find out those point in the poem, I hope you realize the poem easily. So today I am going to stop here. Thank you, dear student.